Response Update. I'm Xander. Let's get started. We're sad to say that Captain Sir Tom Moore, the former British Army officer who captured our hearts by walking laps for charity, has died at the age of 100. The British centenarian was knighted last year by Queen Elizabeth II for raising £45 million for Britain's National Health Service by walking laps around his garden with the aid of a walker during the nationwide coronavirus lockdown. The Queen was one of the first to publicly mourn Moore's death. Godspeed, Captain Tom. We'll miss you.
Yeah.
Human-made noise from ships, seismic surveys, air guns, pile drivers, dynamite fishing, drilling platforms, speedboats, and even surfing is making the ocean an unbearably noisy place for marine life. According to a review in the journal Science, anthropogenic noise is drowning out the natural soundscapes. And, in the case of baby clownfish, who use the natural sounds of the reefs to find their way home, the noise can even doom them to wander the seas without direction. Up next on Disney Plus, Blinding Nemo. Yep, this is gonna be a fun episode. A section of Highway 1 near Big Sur collapsed after heavy rains caused a debris flow made of water, boulders, trees, and mud, in an area already weakened by the devastating Dolan fire. The collapse left a 150-foot wide V-shaped gash leading down to the ocean. Big Sur? More like, no sir, am I right? Am I right or am I right or am I right?
You're not right.
Yeah, whatever. Even with a big hole in it, it's still faster than taking I-35 through downtown Austin, so I can't complain. A man in the Netherlands has fathered hundreds of children. The man, Jonathan Jacob Meyer, a Dutch musician, is a serial sperm donor, giggity, both at fertility clinics and through private sperm donations. Due to the poorly regulated donation system, this means that in a country of just over 17 million people, several hundred of those are unknowingly half-siblings. I guess, in addition to accordions and barrel organs, the Dutch can look forward to a lot of banjo music in the hash bars. Jeff Bezos will soon be stepping down as the CEO of Amazon, moving to the position of executive chairman while the top spot is passed off. He stated that the role of CEO was all-encompassing, leaving little time for other things. But now, with his newfound free time, he can focus on his more personal project of finally defeating Superman. Now, speaking of questionable retail practices, a congressional investigation found that ingredients in many baby foods, including some organic options, are contaminated with heavy metals like arsenic, lead, and cadmium at far higher levels than those allowed in products like bottled water. And that was just for the companies that even bothered to comply with the investigation. Walmart, which sells Parents' Choice and Parents' Choice organic products, Sprout Organic Foods, and Campbell Soup Company, maker of Plum Organics baby foods, refused to even provide the investigators with the requested information. Now, if you're ever worried about the mystery meat in school lunches, just stop and think for a moment about what Walmart's putting in your baby.
Ooh.
Oh.
After the Trump-inspired insurrection of January 6th, what we're calling Don Ghazi, Canada, our sensible neighbors to the north, have declared the Proud Boys a terrorist group. This designation will allow bank accounts linked to the group to be frozen and their assets seized, and also expands police investigative powers. This lumps them in with several other far-right or neo-Nazi organizations, as well as groups affiliated with the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. Or, as Mango Mussolini would call them, patriots. Hashtag Don Ghazi. Ex-President Trump has resigned from the entertainment union SAG-AFTRA. Trump sent a letter giving his resignation just as the union was voting to bar him for life due to his role in the January 6th Capitol attack. In response, the union released a statement that simply said, "Thank you." In the description, you'll find a guide to local burn wards and several SoundCloud links to air horns. According to reporters in the Senate chambers, several senators, including Florida's Rick Scott, Mississippi's Cindy Hyde-Smith, and Missouri's Josh Hawley refused to pay attention during the impeachment hearings. Kentucky's Rand Paul wouldn't even look up at the proceedings and spent his time doodling rather than watching the trial evidence. I guess you could say the Senate trial was divided into those who choose to see and those who prefer to not see. President Biden said recently that he would bar ex-President Trump from receiving intelligence briefings because Trump could not be trusted due to his erratic behavior even before the January 6th attack on the Capitol. This is the first time a former president will be left out of the briefings, which are still offered on a regular basis to Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama. Biden said, "Now what value is giving him an intelligence briefing? What impact does he have at all, other than the fact that he might slip and say something?" Find out this and more on the new Russian reality show, Porn Star Pillow Talk. While on the subject of dirty birds, Hustler magazine publisher and free speech pioneer Larry Flint died recently. Flint was a 9th grade dropout, a third-class pornographer, and a first-rate advocate for the First Amendment. In 1978, Flint was shot outside the Lawrenceville, Georgia courthouse where he was on trial for an obscenity charge, and spent more than half of his life in a gold-plated wheelchair. The sniper was a white supremacist who objected to Hustler's portrayal of interracial couples. We'd like to read you more from his obituary, but unfortunately, for some reason, those pages were stuck together.
Ew.
Very fun episode. Amid the flurry of appointments for President Biden's new cabinet, former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg was confirmed as the new U.S. Transportation Secretary.
Woo!
Buttigieg is the first openly gay cabinet member in a presidential administration. Now, there have probably been other same-sex oriented heads of the executive departments, but they never officially came out of the cabinet. Speaking of which, have your burger options become too bland, too boring, too straight? Well then, have we found something for you? New burger chain Gay Burger, a virtual kitchen that delivers via Postmates, DoorDash, and Uber Eats, opened recently for delivery in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York City. Gay Burger is the creation of comedian, author, recording artist, and out-and-proud gay figure Elijah Daniel, aka Lil Fag, and 100% of the proceeds are being donated to support the Los Angeles LBGT Center for Homeless Youth. Why eat a straight burger when you can order from Gay Burger and munch the juicy meat between their hot buns? Or, if that's not your end of the rainbow, you can order their chicken sandwich called I Like Chicks. Hackers recently tried to poison the water supply of Oldsmar, Florida, a small city near Tampa Bay. By remotely accessing the water treatment plant, the hackers changed the amounts of sodium hydroxide, the main ingredient in drain cleaner, from 100 parts per million to 11,100 parts per million. Highly dangerous levels. The attack was caught before it could cause harm, but it showed that utilities need to seriously address the vulnerability of remotely accessible systems. Oh my, Mr. Florida guy, give your daughters bottled water since yours is full of lye. Some hackers got into your water supply. If you drink it, you could possibly die. Thank you. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Woo!